Hello. Good morning. I know I'm not on at my regular time today. Things have been a little crazy, and but I'm here. I'm going to be recorded. So I'm going to commit to doing this for a year, and I have a project ready for us to do. And I just got done watching the gal that I like to watch every day. So I'm sorry I'm late, but we are still here. We're still going to have fun making jewelry. Today I'm going to make one of my special pieces that I do. I will get this on my screen here, share it to my page so we can have everyone listen. And my page is Faceted Bead. And again, for those who don't know, I cannot go live on my own page until I get 100 followers. I think I got 50 or 60. I can't remember right off. So here we are. I got it on there in case someone watches it on that page. So what I do is I pull up my personal page and I start it there. Well, I start it on my phone. Then I pass it over to my Faceted Bead page. And then I have to come back to my page so I can watch and see comments. So it's been good practice. I've been enjoying it. It's very motivating to find projects. I always have more projects than I actually can do. You know, there's always things whirling in my head that I like to make. So today is something that I like to make that I make. Let me see if I'm on my page. Yes, I'm on my page. Let me say hello. Make sure I'm on my page. Yes, I'm on my page. That way, if anyone comments, I can see. Because it is fun when people come along with you. So today is a project that I did. It's based off of, well, it's a religious piece, but I went and had a special order for this. And when I did my special order, I researched it because I didn't know that they made Protestant rosaries. And what I did was I went and based off of a book that I do, or that I really, really like. It's called Joyful Journey. I based a pattern plan that goes along with my rosaries. It's like, for example, now bead 1 says, "Dear God, help me not do anything out of fear. I am feeling fearful about ... You know, you can. And then the second one is, "Dear God, help me love the people you put around me deeply." And then you name those people. And it goes on for like 8 beads. And the last one is bead 8. You're saying, "God, how God are you glad to be with me?" And then you just, without thinking, you just write down. So it gives the instructions. It tells you to start this exercise by finding a pleasant place to just be alone with God and to go through them. And I love making these. I put the vintage and the new together. And I have a few made and they're on my Etsy site. But what I'll do is show you again how I would design something like this. So let me put you up here in the stand so you can see. Oopsie, hold on. It's got quite a good spring on it, as you can see. So here we're going to turn you around. And I'm going to put in just a little bit more. There we go. So here's the one that I have made. It's got like a bone kind of, that's probably not bone. That's probably, what do you call that? That plastic type composite material. But this is one that I made with new, well, most of these are vintage on here, but these are those Venetian vintage beads here. And when you do the rosary, the Protestant rosary, I put special ones on the end. This one here is for sale. I put the 7 beads, like here's the 1 bead, the 2nd bead, the 3rd bead, the 4th bead, and so on and so forth. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 beads. There is 8. I was thinking there were 7, but there is 8 beads. Aren't they pretty beads? They're very pretty. I don't know if you can see those really well. They're very, very pretty. So today I picked another sort of a Venetian type bead that I had, and these are They have the foil inside. And if I'm not calling them the right beads, someone is welcome to come on here and correct me with what type beads those are. They're glass, and I know they are vintage. So I decided, now this cross would go well. I do really think so with what I selected, but what I decided to go with is a new cross that I found. This is a metal piece, and I got it started, and we're just going to string it. I'm just going to show you my design and stringing. I have mostly round beads, some bicone beads, and then I wanted to find something on the end. What I'll do is the special order bead that I had, it was a gal who teaches, and she wanted to put her mom's special bead at the bottom. And that was really fun that I was able to make one, because I had never even heard of a Protestant rosary, actually. So this is kind of a unique piece, but when I find vintage beads, because you have to have 8 of them, right? You have to have some 8 that go together. It makes it for a fun project. So what I'm going to add here is, I think I'm going to add a spacer, and I found these cute little gold one. My metal color really today is gold. And I kind of liked this bead. I wanted to see, I like this bead, but I like the green bead too. Let's see, let's use the green bead. I like this green bead. It's cut, looks like a moon, some stars on it. This is out of my vintage collection. And I got a little bit of a tail on there, so I want to try to stick my tail back through. And before I got on, I went ahead and I crimped it, added a crimp cover, spacer, bead cap, and now the little bead. And that's going to be the beginning of the piece. Here's my other piece that I did. This one's kind of a manly looking one. I made my husband one just for the fun of it when I learned about them, and I made them. He lays his on his dresser. I've had special requests. I've made them. People wanted them for in their car, and usually I make a little tin that they go in. I take a little tin and I decorate a tin and I put them in the tin. And yeah, I'm like, I wonder where mine is. I have one that I did when I first did them. I saved it. Mine's in a little, it was a little tin. It was a little girly tin. It needs painting. I was going to bring it and show it to you, but I'm not even sure where I got it now. Maybe it's in my pocketbook. I don't know. Anyway, so if we're going to follow this bead, or this pattern, let me move these out of the way. These were colors I was considering. I had them all out ready to use them, but I don't think I'm going to use them now. I like bicone beads, and you don't see us use those very much often, but in something like this, it kind of looks cool. If you look, I got little teeny ones in this one. These are like really, you can tell they're old, because they're not really uniform. And I don't know where they came from, but they're kind of cool. So the cool thing here is, like, you know, picking out the colors that you want and then the order. It's pretty symmetrical. You know, it's not really organic. So I started out with this bead. So let's see. Actually, what I should do is just lay it out how I think I would like it. And so far, this is my start bead, which is kind of big compared to that one, but there's no right or wrong here. You can do just whatever you like, right? You don't have to have it perfectly, you know, exact. But I did like these 7 beads. They're like rainbowish. I like that. They have blue, green, yellow, red in them. And then I would think I want to put in between those, I think I want to use these yellowish golden brown bicones. Now I could use those, or my other thought was to use these green ones. And I think either of those would go well. But I think I want to stick with the bicone ones. So I'm going to stick one of those in between each one of those. Let me push over just a little bit so you can see a little more of what I'm doing. That's the disadvantage of using the camera horizontal. Hey, there's Maureen. I see Maureen. It tells me every once in a while, if I look up at my phone, it tells me who's watching, and I see my friend Maureen. How are you doing, lady? Nice to see you here. I'm a little late today, a lot late. I'm actually doing a course that's been really really stretching me beyond 1% and beyond 50%. And I had forgotten it was Friday today. Can you believe it? So I was up there fooling around. I was, oh, holy crap. Okay. So I was like, okay, no pressure to myself. What can I do? Well, I can come on after the show that I like to watch when Friday is over, and I can apologize. Life doesn't ever turn out perfect like we like, so we can just reset, not putting pressure on ourselves. So that's what I did. And that felt really good, even though I hated that I missed. So I think I like these little dainty daisy-like spacers. And I like these little golden, I think that's a flower on there. It looks kind of like a shell. And then I have these cute little teeny, I don't think they're almost like size 11, but they're a little bit bigger than 11. But little colorful beads I can put in between. And so I think I'm going to start now with the main part. And with the main part, I put 3 of those. So I got 3 of these yellow beads. And then in between, and I don't know how I came up with this pattern of the 2 and 3. I just did. I think I went online and I found one and I just mirrored it. I think that's what I did. Okay. I already see I want to put a spacer between here. I think I want to put a spacer. And a bead. I'm going to put another spacer. Just as long as I do the same thing the whole way. And along the way, if I don't like it, I can always change it, right? Yeah, I like that so far. Yeah, that's pretty nice. So, because I grew up Catholic and, we had the Rosary and stuff. It never, I never really did the Rosary much or anything. I had a few as from a kid from being in Catholic school and all, but, I never really, I always thought you could just pray without, having to hold it or anything. Maybe, but people can use it to be as a reminder and, and that's kind of cool if they want to have like a little reminder. I would never remember, honestly. I'd be like right now, wonder where my rosary is. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Let's make sure I got it all organized there. I have sent these as I remember it was meaningful when Zane's dad died and someone sent an old man made wooden ones like this, and someone sent it to Zane when his dad died. I thought that was kind of special. I think I still have that somewhere. Okay, so we got one. Now we got to add this other one. Aren't these kind of cool? These were a Hobby Lobby bead set. And I liked the shape of them. I think the shape of them is kind of cool. Now I look like I'm getting kind of roomy because I don't want it to be too long. So I have to be careful that I don't add, because if you look at this one, it's a lot smaller bead than the other one. So I may have added way too many spacers and such so far. Let's give it a look at. Better to do it now than to wish I had done it later, right? So, well, no, we're pretty good in size because I feel my dog down there licking on my leg. But isn't that pretty? That would be pretty as a necklace too, wouldn't it? Even if you just went from there down, or maybe from here up and went both directions and had a focal at the bottom, that would be pretty. I do like that, I'm not a real shiny metal person, so I really like those that they're, you know, I don't know what the word is, but they got some color to them. Let's see. Let's put this one, because we already got the spacer. Let's see if those whole beads are bigger. So I wanted to see if they were going to go through, and they're not. So good. Let's see if you can see me. So 1. You know what I'm going to do right there? I'm going to add this bead. I want a little space between them. I don't know why. I just do. There. I'm going to add that. I'm going to add this one. I'm going to add a spacer. I think the spacers give it a little sparkle in between. Now, if you've not ever heard of the Great Bead Extravaganza, it starts this weekend, and it is fantastic. It is, if you like to make jewelry or watch people make jewelry and learn, I highly suggest you look it up and experience it this weekend, because it is very encouraging, inspiring. Even if it's things you don't necessarily aren't used to, go for it. Just go watch it. I think you will be glad. I want to make sure I can fit all this on it. Yes, I think we're good. That was making me a little nervous there for a second, thinking, because I found this piece of soft flex that I thought, well, this is just the perfect size. But, you know me, I like to have a little extra just in case. And I didn't have a little extra because it was limited already. So you wouldn't believe it. Like right off the top of my head right now, I can't think of one thing to design because my brain is busy on this. But boy, I'll be like, oh, I could show this. Oh, I could show that. I'm like, okay, just chill, just write it down, and you can show it sometime. So I am going to try to, here's what it looks like so far. It's pretty cool. Make sure I didn't miss any spacers. These beads here, I have a bunch of these too, and these would have looked cool in here too. They're goldish, greenish, little bluish. Those would have looked nice on there as well. But I wanted to do something different. I've been dying to use those colored ones. I got to use up this stash I got. And so I could make a bunch of these. I can make a bunch of necklaces. I don't know about making necklaces with those. Do you think they would be too heavy? I don't know. They might be too heavy. You know? Make a heavy necklace. They could make some nice, I guess, wind chimes. Do you know, I was at the health food store yesterday and my mouth dropped open. I always look at all the cute little stuff in there, and I hadn't been to this one for a while. And oh my gosh, they had the typical, like, sun catchers. And I'll say that the crystal on the bottom was about, say, that big. It was pretty big. I would say it's 20, 30. If we had sizes and we you know, if I thought of a 10, it was like 4 or 5 times bigger. It was pretty big. And then at the top, you know, maybe this far, maybe 4 or 5 inches was the color crystals. They wanted $49 for it. I was like, whoa, $49. Yeah. I almost took a picture of it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't need a picture of it. I know exactly how I would make one. And that's what these would probably do good at, is making some wind, you know. And I do have some really pretty chandelier drops, you know, that would look really nice on. Oh, look at this. I started picking up the wrong beads. Look at that. I picked up the wrong ones there. Picking up the wrong sizes. I do have a big size. Let's set those aside so I don't pick those back up accidentally. I want to stick with the same size. And these are very pretty bicones. Now, in the stash that I bought, I have like containers. I'll show them to you. This is the green one. And they're just, you have to sit there and go through them. Well, this one has a lot of things already finished. And just go through them and find what you need. You spend quite a bit of time. But I have yellow, I have brown, I have black, I have blue, I have green, I have a couple pinks. And so it depends on how many you find of something. Like, and these great bicone crystals are in there. So I dug through to see if I could find enough of them to make this project. And sure enough, so I have, you're not going to believe this, but I see where I made a mistake. And why I know it is because, which I guess it doesn't really matter, but for some reason, there was 3 of those in there. But for this one, we're only going to have 2. And you know why? Because I think I only have just enough wire to make this one. And it's more important to me that I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those on there than I gotta get one more out of the drawer, it looks like. So put that on there. The fun thing is finding the little signature piece we want to put on the bottom, right? Like, which piece do we want to put on the bottom? How are we doing staying on camera? Because sometimes this is why I like doing it horizontal, honestly, because horizontal, I can stay on a lot better than when I do vertical. So we're almost there, making our Protestant Rosary design. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then let me get this one last piece. I know right where it is in the drawer. Hold on. I have enough. I have probably enough to do 2 more of those, but maybe I'll make a sun catcher with them instead. Make me a $50 sun catcher. Yes, $50 sun catcher. They had smaller ones, and they were $30. It just shows you how the price of these components have gone up. Of course, you know, that is a specialty store. Really, they're more for food and really probably more for supplements than anything. So let's add this last one and decide where we want to go from there. So this is what we got so far. This would be a nice manly one too with the color. I had a special order from a guy. His wife wanted one for when her mom died. And then he wanted one when his dad died. And he keeps it in his glove box. That's just, you know, that's what, inside the little box, I do put paper. And I think I put their names and things like that. And when it's special like that, it's just fun. So now what we have to decide is, let me turn so you can see the front of it. Now what we have to decide is the end piece. And that's kind of fun. I found this one. I think that's kind of cool looking. It looks kind of like a fish. I don't know I guess it is a fish. I don't know, but that fish looks neat. I have a heart. It's kind of gray greenish, and that's kind of pretty. I'm having a hard time deciding, and this one is very cool. This one's got a little gold in it, little gold slivers, and that would be really cool. My last take on it was I was going to put this one, and look at this funky one. I think I have one. It's like a funky, like bumpy bead. Isn't that cool looking? I don't even know what you would call that. I don't know if I've ever even seen anything like that. That would be neat on the end. But I can't put all three of them. So which one do I decide? I think the fish is going to win out. This one's kind of cool. I would like it if it was a little bit bigger. What do you think? I think the fish. Fish signifies perseverance. Oh, that's very good. I think that the fish in the size. Now, if this was like for me and I loved it, I'd probably put the heart on because, you know, a girl, I love hearts. But I do think the fish is pretty cool. So we're together on the fish. So now we have to decide, do we want to add anything else at the very end? Let's just compare on size. I'm telling you, that's pretty weighty. That's why I don't know if I could really make necklaces out of these. I mean, if I made a dainty one and only put a few, that's pretty heavy. Like this one is really light. This one's heavy. So let's add the fish. Let's take the fish. Let's see. This one I did it like that. I put 3 of these on, so I could add 1, 2, 3. Or I could do, how about I do 1, 2, 3, do it like that. Then add the fish. And then I could add that one. This funky cool other one. Let's put the funky cool one on there. Or that one. No, we don't have to do that one. We really don't need anything after the fish, I guess. Do we? This one, we could put that one last. Yeah, let's do that one. This one's cool though, like that. But this would be fine if it didn't have an end on it. Here's a very kind of cool glass one. Let's put that one on the end. Okay, I think we decided. I'm still not sure if I want to put, there was a shiny one. I'm still not sure if I want to put some on the end of the end. Is that the same size? I want the small one. Yes, there we go. I think that and then the fish would be it. But I want to add the fish to dangle. Right? Let's make the fish dangle. Let's make the fish the dangly part. That's what we can do. So instead, I'm going to put this one, this pretty flat one. Yes. And this. And this is the fun when you have all these extra beads to use up. Soon down the road, which another passion of mine is to make triple wrap bracelets. And boy, can you use up all your spare beads on those. I love making those. And you can add charms to them if you want. I like making them like with macrame and a bunch of beads or just beads. And I have a slew of those. So we're going to finish this off. I'm going to crimp it. Boy, did I get the beads out this time for everything. I'm going to crimp it. Make me an end. Crimp. See, I think I come off the camera a lot when I have it horizontal. I have to just pay more attention, huh? So look, I did end up having enough string, didn't I? Yay. I hear you over there, puppy. What you getting into, buddy? What you doing? Come over here and get your bone, buddy. I hear you over there. What you doing? What you getting into? So all I'm doing is getting this so that I got a small loop as I can get. And snug up all that wire. Keep sliding that crimp down. And I try to pull that. There we go. That's perfect. Perfect size. Because I will put a gold crimp cover on that. But first I'm going to crimp it. So you make sure both of the wires are flat next to each other. Go all the way back, crimp. What it does is it smashes the two wires in between the crimp. You turn it sideways, you go into the second hole and you hit it and it flattens it. And then I always tug it a little bit, see if it's going to come undone. Every once in a blue moon it doesn't do it, but I'm going to cut my extra wire off. Tuck that down there in that bead if I can, if it'll let me. If the hole's big enough, yes, it's big enough. There we go. Now we're going to wire wrap this. Wonder if this one will do it. Nope, I'm going to need me some long. Find my longer ones. Let's see if what we like here. Let's see if we like putting that one and the fish on the end. I think I like a smaller bead, maybe. Prosperity. Perseverance. I like the triple wrap as well, but they don't seem to be selling at craft fairs lately. Really? I can make triple wraps like all day long. I love triple wraps. That's a shame they're not selling because they are fun. And you know, you are right, because I'll wear them and no one ever notices them. But the challenge and everything with doing them, and what's so fun is the colors. I mean, you know, matching all the colors together, and I like that. Let's try this little. Put a pretty green bead on top. Let's put a brown bead on top. How about a cream color bead? Okay, cream color it is. That's too bad that they're not making those. People aren't liking those. What I made last week, Maureen, I don't know if you saw it, but that real simple necklace, I think, is what's popular right now. It's something really simple. And, you know, simple is fun, but, you know, not as so much when you want to create something, you know. So we made a wrap, and I need to slide my wrap on before I close it up. Then I'm going to twist it. Round once, round twice. And I got room for 3, so we're going to do 3. And then we're going to snip it. We're going to tuck that little tail in so it doesn't get anyone. There we go. Love the little fishy. Now we just need to add the little crimp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it out flat to see what's the bottom, what's the top, so that I put it on the right direction. So Tina and I have been looking for other options of crimping, and she found a very cool crimp. There we go. All done. All done. I very much like. I'll show and tell. Here we go. Now I want to, because of the colors in this and because I like design, now I want to come up with a necklace with this, like this piece here. But I don't think I got any more beads like these. I think I'm done those. I think I might have one of those. But I'm loving this color combination right here. I really, really am. And I love the fish on the end. I'm glad we decided it was a fish, because I wasn't even sure, but see, it's got an eye, so it is a fish. So thanks for hanging with me, and thanks for enjoying my project with me. And I will be here next Friday, and hopefully I'll remember and be on time. So thanks, Maureen. You have a great rest of the day and a great weekend, and we will talk to you soon.